So guys, hello and welcome to another coaching session today with Jean Paul van Aerle. He is asking for a session in the LMP2 car and he is asking for improvement overall, especially though on braking and on corner exit. And since this LMP2 car is a car that runs with a lot of momentum, or that needs to be run with a lot of momentum, it is the perfect car in combination together with Monza, because Monza has a lot of braking zones and it has a lot of zones where carrying the speed is very vital and very much important. So first of all, as usual, we are looking at his lines, we're looking at his driving. To then take away the objectives and take away the positives and the negatives and the point of improvement that we can achieve together. So there is a general pattern that I can see. He tends to be a bit too early on the turn and too far on the inside for the turn, and therefore compromises his entry speed pretty much. You see that a lot in the chicanes. You see this especially in Ascari. Here also the turning on the early side and kind of waiting too long after the apex. Was loads better now. Sadly missed the apex. braking side, I have the feeling that he's braking too early and not with enough aggression. Yeah, so 70% of brakes. %of brakes. In that area, that's alright. Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2, easy to lock up. Yeah, but wrong braking aggression, like he reaches the peak brake pressure like a second into the braking zone or half a second into the braking zone instead of hitting it straight when the car produces most deceleration performance. And therefore tending to lock up pretty early. There you go, exactly the issue. So, where do we need to work on? Number 1, brake aggression. Number 2, car positioning on the entry. Regarding the slow in, fast out. The Lesmos look alright. The last Ascari that I saw was good as well. Yeah, that was alright too. And the maximization of tarmac. That is the next part we need to work on a little bit. So even without telling him, he's instinctively doing the right thing. He now favored the first curb or the first turn over the second one, and immediately got a 10th out of it, despite the worn tires. Same goes for this corner, but there he just needs a bit more entry angle to make himself up and more easy second part of the chicane. So all that he now needs to start doing is carrying the speed through the turns. If he starts doing so, .36s are not far away. Give him another opportunity. Yeah, a lot better now. The carriation of speed. Carriation is the wrong word, but he carries so much more speed through the second half of the chicane now. All right. We can park the car for a moment.
Yeah, okay.
And then we can speak about a few things while I'm noting down not just the potential lap time that you could do already. So I think we should target the 36s rather than the 37s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in theory, you could already do a 137.185. Your biggest issue, to a certain extent, there is like I have four massive bullet points here on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the first is the brake aggression. Your brake appliance is so gradually like you're applying a throttle out of a turn when
Mm-hmm.
going for a braking point. So um, the best way to start braking is
Mm-hmm.
when you hit the brake pedal hard on the
Yeah.
initial um, braking point. That doesn't mean that you should like straight stomp it, but just the peak pressure of brakes should be in the very beginning moment of the braking.
Okay.
Um, because at that point the car, and that goes for any car, because even no matter how low downforce it generally produces, um, the car is like any car is always producing maximum downforce the higher the speed is. So when you are braking with 300 kph, there's so much downforce that you can really unleash the full potential of the brakes, but then have to gradually release it in order to prevent the lockup. That you already do really well. So after you've reached your peak, you
Mm-hmm.
gradually release the brake to not make it lock up.
Yeah.
So what you now need to be able to or start doing is brake harder initially, and then
Yeah.
just do the same gradual brake release,
Mm-hmm.
and that will give you surely 10 or maybe even 15 meters of braking zone distance for turn 1 and turn 4. So for the both chicanes.
Okay. So, for example, the first chicane,
Mhm.
I brake at a braking point of about 100 meters. I
Mhm.
will do that in the same way. Only I press the brake pedal harder than I do the lap before, and then gradually release the brake in the same way I've had it before.
Exactly. Like you also keep the same braking points for now,
Hmm.
but I want you to just hit the brakes quicker and harder.
Okay.
Not as
Okay.
hard as you can, like
Mm.
not a full emergency brake, but like a controlled, strong, and rapid brake aggression.
Okay. Okay.
Um, you may be too slow towards the corner, or you start like releasing the brake completely very early when you're
Hmm.
so far away from the apex. Still, that might be absolutely natural and
Hmm.
absolutely okay for the moment. We will alter the braking point on the fly. So at some point when you've just better in that technique, then I just tell you, okay, now just like go for look for your breaking point, or generally speaking, you will start looking for your new personal breaking point automatically. Because
Okay.
obviously, if you brake too early, you're like, okay, I can brake later, and then you start doing that, and you start braking harder, and try not to lock up. You may
Yeah.
spin a lot of times, and you may lock up a lot of times,
Hmm.
because obviously the car has no ABS, and the more you push it towards the limits, the more obviously the car reaches those limits and is going beyond them, where you don't actually have to correct or anything.
Yeah.
So be advised
And
on that.
I don't have a meter where I can see what percentage of the brake I use before when I do the pressing the brake the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an idea how much percent I use the max pedal for braking now? So have a kind of idea.
Yeah. Most of the brakings you reached a good peak of 80, 85 to 90%,
Mm-hmm.
something in that range. But the problem is you like your braking goes from 0 to 90 within the first 100 kph of deceleration.
Yeah.
So at the point where you do 200, braking out of 300, you should only be like 60, 50, 60, 70% depending on the situation on the brake anymore. Like that is already the brake force where the tires are tending to lock up. So
Yeah.
you want to hit the brake pedal in a way that you are at 90% when the car is still doing 280 to 70,
Mm-hmm.
and then gradually release it through 200 down to 150 or 100 kph, whatever the desired or the
Yeah.
required turn-in speed is.
Yeah.
So that is how it goes for the brake aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, if you want, I can also do a lap and just over exaggerate a little bit on what I want
Yeah,
to
that's
see
fine.
from you.
That's fine.
Um,
That's fine. That's
I
without.
gonna do that later after I finish the other points as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um, the second thing I noticed is the car positioning, especially for turn one and especially for turn four, so for both chicanes and the
Yeah.
Ascari chicane. You
Mm-hmm.
tend to brake on the very outside, but once
Mm-hmm.
you are at the turning point, you already reached like almost the middle of the road for the turn-in.
Okay.
So you give a lot of distance on turn in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a chance to watch the Discord right now if I share a screen?
Yeah, for sure. I open Discord and then I can have a look. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will um, show the OBS with
I can
me.
see it. I see your view.
Yeah. Now I'm on your car. I quickly go forward to the spot. Obviously. So here, this is like this was probably there was one lap where your second chicane was really good, but here you can see already that you're leaving at least half a car width of space to the
Yeah.
outside, which is compromising your entry just a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, I think that was a lap where it was really good. Let's see
So
about
I
this
have
one.
to place the car more to the right before
Yeah,
the turn into the apex.
like here on the initial braking point, it's alright. It's not perfect, so you still have like 10 centimeters to the white line, but generally speaking, this is not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But once you brake, you keep braking, and here is already when you start diverting from that outside
Yeah,
line
yeah.
a
I
little
see what
bit.
you mean. Yeah, I
And
see
then,
what you mean.
like, uh, this is the point where usually people start to turn in, but here from the outside.
Yeah.
And you're very early here. So here it's almost the full car width that you are kinda giving away for no reason. You hit the
Yeah.
apex good,
Mm-hmm.
but at that point, people that are braking from the outside, the car directs already
Yeah, the other position. Yeah, yeah.
into
That's
this
for better
area.
for the second corner.
Exactly, while your nose
Yeah.
is still heading into the off-track area, and
Yeah.
that leads to the fact that you
Yeah.
are. I
Yeah.
mean, you slide the car here a bit, which is your luck, but also here the car is a bit too far to the right. Usually you be a bit more to the left to open up the entry for the second turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You see the driving line from that side. So
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And same basically goes for turn one. It's like here everything is good, then you start braking, and it's not as extreme here, but also when you're coming to the turning point, this is way too early. You see also you're beside the ideal line
Yeah.
here, which
Yeah.
contains the rubber.
Yeah.
And that just leads to the fact that in this case, instead of the cars being here and pointing to that direction, you're still kinda trying to finish the first turn despite you should actually be focused on hitting the second apex.
Yeah.
So that is a bit of an issue when it comes to the car positioning. And here I can also show you a little bit about the brakes. So you hit the brakes at the 160 meter ball. Here you go, quite good. That is alright. That is the perfect brake aggression actually already. So here you go hard on the brakes, and then as we speak, gradually release it.
Okay.
So for that corner, that isn't quite valid, but you can see here that you are quite for a long time in this transition. You even throttle the car again a little bit, which means that you've broken still too early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if the...
Yes, and most of the time I use for these kind of corners the 100-meter sign
Yeah.
as my braking points. But because I have a kind of pressure on the brake, that means that it will brake and that I do the cornering, and that's what I mean. And my feeling, it is maybe too late, or but when I push the brake harder, then it can be that I can brake later on.
Yeah.
And that can help.
You see that the transmission between brake and throttle, it takes you quite a bit, and it's like when you are done with the initial brake, that is the initial braking moment. You are
That's
now
slow.
at like 70%,
Yeah,
but
that's slow.
that still goes up and still goes
Yeah,
up
yeah,
until here,
yeah,
and now goes down. And if you do that initial brake up to at the very top,
yeah,
then you can achieve um, a shorter braking distance.
yeah.
From the laps that I've did before, bear with me real quick. I can show you the braking on of my Motec.
Hmm.
So from the laps that I've done before, I just have a look at those 1 or 2 turns. So you see my brake aggression is like straight up to 100
Yeah,
for a short moment,
yeah,
and like obviously I come there a little quicker, but from 0 to 100 to my peak, I lose just 6 or 7, sorry, 15 kph.
yeah. Okay.
And that is like a pretty strong aggression. You see that here is a strong hill, and from then on it goes down
Yeah,
gradually. Same
yeah,
for turn 2. The moment I brake and hit my full braking potential, I lose 12 kph, and from then on it just goes down gradually. When
yeah,
I look at you now, like from your initial braking, which is here, you do 283,
yeah. I see.
and I think this is the peak, 224. So you've already decelerated 50 kph, it's like 5 times more
Yeah,
on deceleration until you have hit your peak braking pressure. And that goes for a lot of turns. Here it's actually no big deal because soft braking zone. But when we're coming towards the heavy braking zone, in this corner it's also kind of alright because it's a medium braking zone, and the braking is not that easy because there is a bump. But this one it's the same thing. Here you just want to hit the initial brake is 100%, and then it quickly goes down. If I reopen my Motec real quick again on that one. Oops. Yep, that is the final turn as well. So I don't even hit 100, but at least 92%.
yeah,
And it's just like a really, you can see it here. There is a very quick and short aggression for a peak, and then we go down the same way. So actually the difficult part of releasing the brake gradually, that is already done.
okay.
So you're already doing good on that. car positioning I mentioned, slow in, fast out, is something I will show you on the track then.
Yeah.
Maximization of track available. That is what I've meant already with the turn 1 and the car positioning on the actual turn-in.
Yeah.
And then for... I close this down so you can watch me on the rFactor 2 simulation.
Yeah,
And then the last part, that is like combining everything together, which means carrying more speed through the turns. That is where your actually lap time is also lying around. You know, but when you open up your entries into the chicanes and have more momentum and carry more speed and have more brake aggression, those are like, those tenths, they add all to another.
I see, for example, at the Ascari, that's a corner where I see, because I don't have the right turn in or too late or whatever it is,
Yeah.
that I can't put the car in the right direction I want, and also not in the right gear, because I tried to do that Ascari in the third gear,
Yeah.
so that I have also a good exit on that corner. But I see when the turn is not correct into low gear, that it means that I'm struggling and pushing the car to that corner, but I'm losing some time in the exit. That's what I
Yeah.
feel in Ascari.
In Ascari, you have the phenomena that you need to completely ignore the turn 8 apex, so the left-hander. You need to completely ignore it and only set up the car so that turn 9 you exit that quite on the inside to have a great run through turn 10.
Yeah.
I will hopefully be able to show you straight on the outlap.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, as we've already spoken about the fact like you need to be more on the outside, then stay tight on the first one and then you can attack the left-hand apex really good.
Yeah.
You've done it better the more laps you did, but there is still room for improvement, of course.
Yeah.
You can also feel free to watch the pedal inputs. Here for the braking point, you have a quick aggression of braking. You're starting to turn in far enough from the outside. Here, Lesmo 1, it's more a little bit of a late apex corner. You're a bit early there. For Lesmo 2, it's right in the middle. Like you don't want to be early, you don't want to be late. You just want to be a plain 90-degree right-hand turn. For Ascari now, as already mentioned, you need to completely ignore the left-hand turn. So what you do is you turn in late, you drive around that left-hand turn and then just pick up the speed. Don't touch the inside curb.
Okay.
But you then just pick up the speed in straight line 9 and 10.
Yeah. I think that is what I have. I'm too far to the left in that first corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've done it on purpose now, a little bit over-exaggerated. Usually you are a little bit more to the middle. But in order to really nail the Ascari chicane, I always keep telling the people to completely ignore the left-hand entry turn and just focus on the middle two and the exit. So heavy on the brake aggression, then gradually releasing it from the outside, stay on the inside, and you can get a good run through the apex, and when the tire is actually warmed up, in my case, when the traction control is turned up, then the car doesn't swing around that stupid as well. Again, here from the outside, want to stay to the left and then open up the entry for the second turn. And you want to be early on the throttle, since that rotates the car around nicely most of the times, especially out of the low speed turns. Not so much in Parabolica. There you really need to see that the front end is gripping enough so that you don't understeer off the track like it happened to you 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. That's correct.
Then Ascari. Really take the inside curb, but don't really focus on the exit. When you are turning into the left-hand corner, you always want to focus on where the car kind of exits for the right-hand turn. Heavy on the brakes, and here really be patient, gradually on the throttle. See is that if the front is carrying the car around, and when you really feel that the car has achieved the corner, then you can improve and increase the throttle on there. The Gonna just do it once again. Braking point, heavy on the initial brakes, stay on the outside, turn in.
And your braking point in this first variant is on the 100-meter side, or you brake later?
I need to look it up next time when I come there.
It looks like that you brake something more after the 100.
Touch the grass, no goodie. Once again in the Lesmos, gradually brake to get that car into a little bit of a rotation. Same with Lesmo 2, a tiny little bit of initial trail braking. Damn it. When entering into the turn is pretty much required to really get the rotation before the apex. And then obviously, as you've seen, that curb, depending on the setup, the curb can be really, really dangerous.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I think the setup on the bombs is important over here, because otherwise you can't take the bombs aggressively.
Yeah.
And that gives some difficulty in the corner.
I agree. Remember that the Oreca or the LMP2 car in general is like an extremely stiff chassis itself. Yeah. So since there is nearly no flex, tires and the suspension have to do a lot of work. So let me see for the braking point, turn 1. Remember also that I approached turn 1 a bit faster than you.
Yeah, so it looks like also that what you told me, braking later, braking first harder, then more to the left side of the corner. It looks like then you turn in later than I do, and that is possible because you are more on the left side, I think.
Yeah. Your initial turn-in starts way too early, but in a very low intensity, whereas my turn-in is very late, but kinda quick then.
Yeah. I see.
So my braking point is roughly 140 meters, 130.
Okay.
You can say as soon as the rubber gets more black or more lacquer, then that's my actual braking point for the car.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's time for you to have any questions so far.
No, it's clear what I have to do. It will be difficult to do that as well, but it is good that I know where I have to look at. So I will have a look at that, the braking, to be the car more to the left side, and then also about the turn in the turn in later than I've done. So that's what I want to try.
Yeah. All right, then you can hit the track. Again, don't be intimidated. Your first couple of tries, you may be slow. You may be a lot slower than you think you might be, but once you've achieved the technique, and that will take some time, obviously, you will gain from it. But let's see. I'm pretty sure that you can gain already straight during the session now.
I will give it a try.
Yes, exactly. brilliant. Yep, good job. That's kind of the way to do it.
Okay.
Just need to start feeling what the car is really able to do and what not. That will take some time. Yep, that was on the brake aggression much better.
I'm now more aware of that I'm pushing the brake harder than I did.
Yes, exactly. There will be a lot of laps where you will push it too hard, but at some point you start to create a feeling of what is exactly possible, what you can do, what the car can do, and that will make you faster.
And that was my intention.
Yes, that's why we're doing this.
I hope there will be a time that I can say to my son, I'm faster than you.
Copy, we are looking.
That was the release not okay.
Yeah, don't forget the downshifting. The downshifting in this car is extremely important with the engine brake.
I was too much focused on the braking that I forgot to do the other things.
Yes. Yeah, much better.
I feel indeed that I pressed the brake harder on than I did before.
Yeah, you're doing it. Like I have not looked at the pedal map this time, but just the initial braking felt more strong.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Whose internet has died? Not mine. I'm online.
I see a connection lost.
Yep. Oh, that is for both of us.
Yes.
Oh, has my server crashed? Oh, really? I can't believe it. Interesting. I have bad news. Like, the remote server is not accessible.
Okay.
Bear with me. If you want to, could share the screen via Discord. Yeah, but I don't have the same tools around them. Let me see. The server is up again. I'm just gonna reset the session with the remaining time.
Yeah, that's fine. Is the server already up, or
Yeah,
do we
you
have to
can
wait?
rejoin.
Yeah? Okay, I will rejoin. But it is sometimes it is difficult to change things. You are and we're not aware of or whatever it is, but for the braking, I feel directly that's good in this case. I feel directly that it is a different when I'm braking now and when I brake before. And I know sometimes I was struggling with my braking, that I thought, okay, I don't have to push the brakes too hard, otherwise it will block. But that's not the case.
Yeah, the braking has been improved by you straight. Like on the first initial braking for turn 1, I directly saw you like at 90-100% on the initial brake in the same speed. You've done it, let's say, a bit over aggressive.
Yeah.
But overall, it was the correct way.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you did it the Lewis Hamilton kind of way. Like you shoot over the limits a little bit first, and then try to find the limit from the top by lowering the aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah. So server. Yeah. There you are. When you want, you can go out straight again. I need to see what has happened to the server, but it should be all right now again.
Yeah, it is fine. What is an issue with the server? I have when I have the connection lost, I have a semi-cube wheel, and when you have an internet connection problem or something like that with rFactor 2, the wheel will rumbling very hard. I don't know if you that have before, but in that case, when I have to leave the server, then the steering wheel is rumbling.
No, I haven't had that. Suddenly, just your picture disappeared, and I was like, okay, damn, is it my connection? Then I quickly looked at the web page, and that was working.
Yeah.
And then I lost the connection the same way you did as well.
Yeah.
And I just saw on the remote that like the remote was also trying to reset internet connection. So I believe the server host had a connectivity issue there.
Yeah. But we are driving again, so
exactly.
That's the most important.
Exactly. You have made sure the setup is correct, yeah?
75 liters.
Okay, great. Well, shame about the server there for a moment, but anyway, we're back in business with the remaining time. The overlay is not yet back in business, there we go.
Is there a tool in rFactor that you can see the brake and the throttle pressure?
I think SimHub provides some visual gauges on the dashboard that can tell you, but you can't see it while driving with standard rFactor 2 tools. Like you can see it from pit road with the with a bar tray at the bottom of the screen. When you are in pit road and watching replay, then you can see it, but just from driving, I think there is no in-game gauge that can tell you.
Because I have it for iRacing, I have it in my screen so I can see the level of input and output.
Yep, that was a lot better. The only thing that you did then is like when you started a turn in, you released the brake completely without being finished with braking.
Yeah.
So you needed slow further down to not overshoot the corner. Yeah, also keep braking there. It was alright now, but you were close on overshooting that one again.
It was my feeling, yeah.
And also it will help you. It's absolutely okay to now not hit the perfect marks and just brake and slow down even more than necessary, because you will see how much beneficial the slow in like being too slow on the entry, but then having a blistering exit. That will be. So next time for turn 1 and turn 4, brake the same way, but keep a little bit more brakes till you're actually at the apex.
Yeah.
And obviously keep the turning.
I think that it was not far enough to the outside, but not sure.
Yeah, that too, but more importantly, you were off the brakes too early again.
Okay.
Keep braking, keep braking, keep braking. Yes, exactly. Have you seen how much more momentum you can carry through the right-hander?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And that is when you are not overshooting the turn 1, but actually taking a little bit more easy. Then you can fully attack the second part and carry all that extra speed onto the straight.
Yeah. Yeah, so now I took a little bit of braking into the corner, in fact.
Yes. Yeah, that was really, really good. So I have placed the pylon in turn 1 and I want you to go into the corner around the outside. Beautiful.
Yeah, that will help.
Well, for now.
Can you stay also always over there? No, but that's for sure. It helps when you see, okay. Because I'm thinking about the braking, that I sometimes forgot that I have to do the car more to the left and turn in later. Now it was easier because you were there, so.
Yep. That was the whole intention of it. Yeah, but nah, it was a bit too early actually. It was really good. You just you did not. Well, you were still finishing the first turn when you were focusing for the second, and you were too fast on the first one.
Okay.
But the general approach was really good.
Yeah, I was imagining that your car was there, so.
Well, I can put it again if you need to.
No, but it was good that I tried to imagine, okay, there was the car, so I know I was turning in on the later moment, so...
We ignore the fact that there was a yellow flag.
The best thing to do is training, that you are comfortable with this kind of thing. That is and therefore it is good, and that is important that you can help me with this. What is the thing I have to change? Then I can work on it.
Stay to the inside, yes. Yeah, a bit too quick into the second part. Like, don't throttle it too much. A little bit of coast right there is alright, so that you do the rotation before the apex.
Yeah.
Otherwise, good. Yeah, but the overall line just looked a lot better. And as soon as the line is good, you will also find ways to carry more speed with it, to get the braking right, to get into this so-called rhythm that will make you, okay, I need a brake here, I need to then turn in there, and I need to have the direction of the change of directions here, and then everything will be just faster.
I'm now more aware about harder braking at the beginning and stay on the braking, and that is good.
Yeah, also try to carry the technique into every braking zone. Just obviously don't go as hard on it everywhere.
Well, you mean parabolic as well?
Yes, parabolica, Ascari. Like, the technique shall be the same, it's just that the strength that needs to variate. Yeah, you were again too fast through turn 1, hence why you had to wait a lot in turn 2.
So still turn in too early?
Nah, this time you broke not long enough. This time you broke longer than required, but that made you actually get the line perfectly right.
Yeah.
But for turn 1 you released the brake too early and then carried too much speed into turn 1 and therefore compromised your entry into turn 2. Yep, very good. And now you just need to start carrying more speed through this turn 8 into Ascari, then it's fine. So remember about the brake technique now into Parabolica. Yeah, better. A bit too gradual still on the on the aggression, so you need to be more aggressive on the initial braking. That was just too late, yeah. Very good. It can take a few weeks until you are really like do the braking without thinking over it.
No, but that is normal. That it takes some time.
Yeah, that is where you kill like half a second of your lap time.
Okay.
Don't use the throttle at all, I wouldn't say. Maybe just a tiny little bit between 1 and 2. But not the way you did it now. Because you just overshot the exit of 1.
Yeah,
did it perfect now in 2? Or in this chicane now?
What I was trying in the first chicane was to stay more on the left side and looking at if I have to turn it later, but
no.
Success.
You actually need to stay even more on the right. Yeah. The perfect turn 1 and 2 is actually when you are turning in and stay super tight on the apex on the right, and you stay so long on the right that you nearly from the very outside turning into the left. And then you do 80% of the rotation before you hit the curb, and then you just kiss the curb and already be on the exit. I can show you in a slow-mo later if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
So do the same braking, do the same line in the turn as last lap, and then you just turn in hard for turn 1 and try to stay on the inside, and then open up your entry for turn 2. Stay tight, stay tight. Yes, kind of. And now for that one you need to turn in just a little later and therefore a bit harder. And then the initial rotation before the apex is even better. And then you can carry the rest of the momentum onto the straight towards this chicane.
Yeah, what I feel in the first one is that I take more speed into the exit.
Yeah, well, you're taking too much speed into the second turn in general. Like, I really like how you take the second chicane. This lap was a bit choppy and a bit back to old habits. But there have been a few second chicanes that have been really, really good.
Yeah, I know I'm not a natural talent in this one, so I know for sure that when I have some new insights, in this case braking, it takes for me a lot of exercise to do it in that way, but it is really helpful. Oh, now I'm talking and driving, that's not easy. It is really helpful that I know where I have to look at, and that can help.
Yeah, that's obviously why I'm here, yeah.
Yeah, that's for me the important thing. I know I can't do now a perfect lap based on what I heard, and it's not always that good as I want, but
I'm still going too far to the left already.
Yeah, for the second chicane.
Yeah. If you quickly want to park the car and jump on my onboard. Tell me when you're on my onboard then.
Yes. See
you know yet?
Yes.
Okay. I'm really doing it slow-mo once and then escape and come back. So what you want to do is you want to be on the very outside. Ah, damn it. Then be on the inside here and have the maximum rotation actually before coming out of the chicane and getting the extra speed. So I'm just going to do the fast way. I've done it over exaggerated now on purpose.
I am too wide because I have too much speed in that corner.
Exactly. That is the issue in that regard. I'm just gonna do it a bit faster now. But you see with how much power and momentum you can come around the final, the second turn there. I'm gonna do it just one more time.
Yeah. What sometimes is stupid, that when I see it, I think, yeah, it's logical, I know it, but to do it is...
The doing and seeing are always two different pairs of shoes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot better now. And you can take that replay later on from you and compare it with yours, or we can quickly do that.
Yeah.
So this is my car, like right on that line where the grip is. Now we have a look at your car. That should have been one of the last laps that you were still on. And it's not too big of a difference, but because of that corner, like my car is about here, and it points that direction.
Sorry, where are you looking at? Because I see my...
Oh, sorry. Sorry. The Discord. I will share the screen.
Okay.
Or better say, yeah.
Yeah, I see now your screen. Okay, thank you.
Damn it. Share the wrong stuff. There we go. I'm also gonna screenshot that. So, that is your car right now that we're looking at?
I see your picture in the screen.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I see a screenshot. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that is your car.
Yeah.
And...
yeah, too much to the left already.
Too much to the left already. You're gonna see the direct comparison in a moment. Just trying to find the same, roughly the same spots. Yeah, so half of the car is there. Okay, perfect. And now you see, like just from looking at both pictures, they have the same camera angle, but you see that they have the same camera angle, but you see that my car is pointing into a very different direction. And it's just, the thing is, we're just talking about a meter or a meter and a half being more to the right. But since it's such a tight corner, that is obviously a big difference.
Yeah. And maybe that's a question in line with the braking. I have using Heusinkveld sprints. I have put my brake pedal weight, or how do you call it, on 60 kilograms.
Yes.
So have more feeling in the brakes. Do you think that's a good setup for this kind of braking, or?
I need to actually see what I have, but it should be fairly similar. Let me see. SPC D hardware smart control. I have set the maximum braking force at 45.
Okay.
The thing is, obviously, muscle memory is always the topic. It might be a little easier for you if you set it softer, but it could also now completely F over your braking.
Yeah.
Could happen as well. So I advise to just keep it like this.
Yeah. That's what I will do.
And you know, if in doubt, you can also use the rFactor 2 brake profiler that you say, okay, I set 90% to be the 100% on the brakes.
Yeah.
That's probably the smarter thing to do.
And the wheel range lock, is that also affecting these kind of cornering, or is that only just a personal feeling about how you want
both actually. So it depends on what you have set. If you have vehicle set,
yeah,
then the vehicle the vehicle steering lock will be the same steering lock that your own steering wheel. So whatever is in the vehicle setup then influences how you can take the corners. If you do not have the vehicle set, but the steering rotation
Yeah,
in the
I set it
steering
on
setting,
371. I've put it on
yeah,
that one, but I was wondering what is better to do the cornering, because I can drive it both. Vehicle set on 336 degrees, I think. It is also possible to change it, but
yeah.
uh,
Obviously, the lower the number, the faster that you can make direction changes, especially in that chicane.
yeah, yeah,
Um, 370 for this car is alright. I wouldn't go much higher at that point. Like you can go up to 400. Um, it really depends on the car.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
but yeah, the lower the number, that the faster the overall direction changes are possible.
So for my training, because what I will do is I will take your comments into consideration to use it for my own training.
Hmm.
Maybe it is better than to set the real range lock at the vehicle set, and to train with that one.
You can try,
Yeah.
but for now I would not change too many variables, only the really necessary ones,
Okay.
which in those
Okay.
cases just like the driving. So
Okay.
the thing is you want to improve some specific technique on your current setting.
Hmm.
So you don't want to change too many variables because they
Yeah. Yeah.
distract you from your actual task.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then I will leave it for now, and then I can do some practice with that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It was a really pleasure to have training from you. Um, you are a driver who I'm looking at on YouTube. This is nice, and you are a nice guy. Good driving. So that was good to having that practice and training from you, um, because it helps me in doing my own training exercise to become um, better or faster, whatever it is, but also consistent. Because what I see sometimes, I have a good lap, sometimes the lap is not that good. But when you know what you have to do and you can improve that, you can all be more consistent in driving. That is also important for my perspective.
Yeah, yeah, very true. And like first of all, thank you for the words, for the kind ones. Really appreciate it. But the thing is, you have the general technique and you have the general skill level that it takes to really advance on what you've just done. Like as you've just said, you not have just been made aware of what potential small issues you have. It's not big issues. I mean, of course, um, I do faster lap times and whatnot, but if you get those key elements together, you can do the 36s as well, and the 35s.
Uh, uh,
And it's just mm, yeah, the faster you want to go, the more perfect and the more on point your driving needs to be.
yeah, yeah,
And we're talking about little details on your end, but it's just like the combination of details that one thing needs to one thing. So you're losing a tenth on the brake, then
yeah, yeah,
you are kind of same speed on the entry of the chicane, but because you are too quick into it or you overshoot it, you lose another 2 or 3 tenths in the next corner, and then like the momentum on the exit is missing too, which is another 2 tenths for the next straight.
yeah, yeah,
And we need to it's those corner combinations where this hurts the most. And
yeah,
when you get the entry right and can carry the momentum through the entire combination, then obviously that will overall benefit the lap time in a big style.
yeah, yeah. No, that is what I have learned from now. So that was good. That was also my intention.
Very
And,
great to
and
hear.
sometimes it is talent. I have a final a nice story about my son Rick.
Yes, yes.
When he was doing a lot of practicing and became better and better. Then he started with go-karting, and his trainer said to him, "What are you doing? Sim racing? What is that? You can't learn driving a kart or something like that by doing sim racing. I want to see your brake technique, because most of the people who start go-karting don't have the right braking technique." But due to his sim racing experience, this braking technique was already okay, and that will help him to be fast on the go-kart. And that is some people have that kind of natural feeling, and sometimes people need to that information. But you see, when you have the right technique, the right skills on braking, that will help a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it does. And I add a story to that too. It was like I need to see, I think 11 or 12 years back, when I was doing like private racing in a private league. You maybe have heard of the guy Georgios Manusakis.
Hmm.
Um, he back then said, Michi, you can be so quick, but your driving, your braking is so awful. So he sat down with me and said, okay, you now need to do this, you now need to do that. I give you coaching for an hour or two.
Hmm.
And he persuaded me with a different driving style. It was horrendous for me. And it took me, um, also together with Robert Knockon, he was um, streaming together with me 3 or 4 years back.
Hmm.
And he persuaded me as well with the driving technique, especially for the iRacing thing. But it took me half a year to get those techniques right. And it was a
Yeah,
pain, and I was like, you're too stupid to do it.
yeah.
But basically, those two persons have been the key element for their overall skill level that I have now. So yeah, it is a pain, but when you can take those considerations and really get yourself to make it a natural thing, what feels unnatural right now, then that is a big win.
I hope I can tell the same story in about a half year about you.
I hope so too.
But that will help a lot. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate your help and your training and your time and your good feedback on my driving skills. And I'm for sure that I can do some improvement on my braking with a lot of training. So
I've
thank you
seen
very
it
much.
already, so all you need to do is like do it so that it is just consistent, that it comes
Yeah,
out of your consciousness without you actively thinking about it.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having the time with me.
Yeah, have a good training by yourself. I saw that you will start a streaming in some minutes on for your own training on
Yes,
the
I need
yeah.
to move that a bit because we were running late, but that's all right. That's
Oh,
part
okay,
of the
okay,
business.
okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Also good luck with finding a new job. Um, but it will be okay.
Yeah,
And I
I
hope
will be.
to talk to you on the later moment.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michi.
Thank you also. See you and bye
Okay.
bye.
Have a nice evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So, guys, and if you want to get your own coaching going, then feel free to check out the links in the description below. Um, Try to find out about the information, and yeah, make sure that you hit me up there on Discord, write me an email, and maybe we have a coaching together soon as well. Guys, thanks for the time watching. See you, and bye bye.